Welcome to 10-Minute Type Advice by Personality Hacker. I'm Joel Mark Witt.
And I'm Antonia Dodge.
This show features questions from the Personality Hacker community that we answer in about 10 minutes. We've been using personality types in our coaching for years, and we'd love to answer your questions about personal growth through the lens of type. You can find out more about us at personalityhacker.com. Okay, now let's hear today's question.
Hello, my name is Hannah Pollard. I am an ISFP and I live in a small mountain town in North Carolina. My question is it ever too late in your life to develop extroverted sensing as an ISFP? I have recently found that I am this type and previously believed myself to be either INFJ or ENFP. Now that I know that I've been caught in an introverted feeling, introverted intuition loop for the majority of my life, I want to learn how to develop my extroverted sensing, but I'm scared and I don't exactly know if I still can at the late age of 32. Thank you for taking the time and love you guys. Have a wonderful day.
Thanks for the question, Hannah. I don't know, 32. Maybe too old to do anything. Life might be over for you. 32, that's like, I'm kind of obviously teasing a little bit because I'm way older than 32 at this point in my life at the time of this recording. I think, though, your question is valid. It's basically like I've lived my whole life with the patterns and the routines and the habits. I'm a little nervous. Like, what's it going to take? How much trauma am I going to experience? How much struggle? Is it even possible? Like, I've got so many habits built at 32 years old. I don't know. I just, is this something I should even be focused on? I think is the general question.
Yeah, and I think one of the reasons why ISPs end up avoiding developing this function is that there's not a lot of, unless it's in you've developed it or you're using it a way that is really obvious to other people what its utility and facility is, there's not a lot of encouragement to go here. But the good news is that extroverted sensing, or what we call sensation as a co-pilot or auxiliary function, is actually really fun to develop. And so you're in a good position. And I think it's funny, Joel, that you're like, oh, I don't know, 32 might be too old. The truth is that, or at least in my observation, that most people spend their 30s doing the work of truly developing their auxiliary or co-pilot function.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know anybody who's like really got it dialed in by their 30s.
32 is when I really started getting serious about it in my life.
Me too. Actually, 32 is exactly when I started getting really serious about introverted thinking or accuracy. It's when I started truly developing my own worldview and belief system, having, graduated from the previous one and realized I had outsourced all of that for myself. 32 was the age where I started to really take control of it. So I would say that 32 is a perfect time. That said, I don't know if there is any time that is too old. We have people who follow us that are in their 60s, their 70s, they're right in and say, I've recently discovered my best fit type, and now I'm developing my co-pilot or auxiliary, and it's very liberating. So I would...
Oh, yeah, we had people in our recent mentorship groups that were in their 70s, I think.
Yeah.
Working with us.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that I would like to put to bed this notion that you might be too old to develop that function. Going straight to the specifics, though, the great thing about extroverted sensing or sensation is, as I mentioned, it's a fun function to develop. And I'm going to steal or borrow a little bit of our friend Dr. Dario Nardi's concept about the analytic versus the holistic styles of each of the cognitive functions. So the concept is that each function has two styles that it likes to, or tempos that it likes to go, enjoys being in. One of them is analytic, which is a more targeted, focused approach to the function. And the other one is holistic, which is a more sort of open frame and a little gentler of an experience with that function. I think of analytic as like a sniper, and the holistic version is more of like a shotgun, more diffused. For extroverted sensing or sensation, the analytic version is what we would call max aliveness. This is the experience of adrenaline and blood pumping through your veins and feeling fully present in the moment and totally alive. So that's one style of extroverted sensing or sensation. And the other one is what a person could call effortless flow, which is that you're aligned with the energies and sort of the flow of the universe. You're present, just like all extroverted sensing or sensation experiences are. You're present in the moment, but you're just kind of taking things as they come. And because you have developed enough confidence in yourself, you know that you don't really have to push anything. You don't have to make it happen. You don't have to worry or pre-plan. When an ISP is in a loop experience, one of the challenges is that they're always trying to plan for what's coming down the road so that they can be prepared for it. Like, how am I going to feel when I get to that situation? What's coming for me? What are the kinds of things I should be thinking about expecting? But when you get into that co-pilot or auxiliary, you don't do all that pre-planning. You just are in the moment. But it requires, like I mentioned, a sense of self-confidence. So a piece of this is going and doing. And then once you go do, get in action, go have those experiences, then you take a moment to you just sort of review it, like getting in your introverted sensing or memory. And you review the experience and go, you know what? I actually got to the other side of this and I did pretty well. And I think I can handle this. As you build more and more of that self-confidence, it's not a matter of requiring yourself to get into that function or pushing yourself. It's a matter of just wanting to be there because it's so pleasurable. So I would recommend experiences on both sides, both max aliveness experiences and effortless flow experiences. Max aliveness might require you to go do something that could be kind of scary. I've recently come across this concept of eustress versus distress. They're two different stress styles. Eustress is actually a healthy form of stress. It puts yourself in situations where you have more control and predictability over them, but they get your blood pumping. Distress is a sense of being out of control and not having any predictability. And so when you're in that state, it takes from you. It dumps a bunch of cortisol into your system and it's really hard to recover from. But eustress situations are ones that dump norepinephrine into your system. And those are situations where you can learn from them. The reason why I mention all of that is they specifically mention eustress comes from stuff like riding roller coasters or watching horror films, situations that simulate stress inside of ourselves, but we know that we're going to be okay on the other side. So I would recommend having max aliveness eustress situations or experiences, like go find really kind of crazy things that you can have a predictable outcome on the other side and engage in them. Things like roller coasters or maybe zip lining or something, like maybe skydiving. I know that's like a stereotype, right? SPs all love to skydive, but there's actually benefit to it. There are benefits to putting yourself in moments and situations that require or not require, but end up pumping adrenaline through your body and really having those high quality eustress situations. When you get to the other side of them, you go, I survived and man, did I feel alive. It gives you boosts of self-confidence. You're going to need that self-confidence to get into the effortless flow version of sensation or extroverted sensing. And effortless flow is I'm going to take life as it comes. I'm going to feel like I'm in the rhythm of life. And I'm not going to worry about it too much or stress out about it, thinking I have to predict what's coming next because I trust myself. I've seen myself in these kinds of situations. I've seen myself in intense situations, eustress situations, and I know I'm going to be okay. And so my recommendation is to do the max aliveness versions first, right? Those intense. I always recommend people start with zip lining. It's usually accessible no matter where you are. It's a reasonable price. You can do it in an afternoon and it's a ton of fun. So go do something like that. And then as you get those experiences under your belt and increase your self-confidence, meaning that you reviewed how it felt, you reviewed yourself through it, you knew you were okay, and now get into effortless flow. Now get into situations where you're like, I'm not going to plan for it. I'm just going to show up and see what happens. And as you do more and more of that, you'll find yourself loving the experience of that function, and you'll find more opportunities to use it. In fact, you won't want to go back.
So Antonia's talking about the building muscles in this function, right? You're talking, Antonia, about that max aliveness to show the capacity of the extroverted sensing sensation process as your co-pilot as an ISFP, and also the daily rhythm of the effortless flow parts. So it's like building the muscles in your body. And now it's like, what do you apply those muscles to? And I would say that your extroverted sensing or sensation as an ISFP is a beautiful place for you to process the emotions you feel in your life. By getting into action, by using the muscle of max aliveness or the chill vibe of effortless flow, this is now you can process all those intense, strong emotions you might feel as an ISFP that you probably up till now at the age of 32 have used that 10-year-old process of perspectives or introverted intuition to understand your emotions and look at them from different perspectives, understand different people, and you probably have a lot of use there. Well, now hooking in this extroverted sensing, you're going to be able to add amplitude to the emotions you have. Maybe you do it through performance or expression in some way. Maybe you do it through activity, so, athletics in some way. But you're able to process your emotions, and you're also able to express them with this function. I think you're going to find that if you exercise it and build the muscles like Antonia talked about, now the application, it's not going to feel so scary. It's going to feel like you've got strength there. So when you go do those things, you look at reality for what it is, not what you wish it would be or you imagine it to be. You look at it for what it is and you process your emotions for what they are, and you create that high amplitude using that muscle you've built. I think you're going to have a much better lifestyle, life. You're going to get you're going to have a lot more equilibrium, right? You're not going to have so many highs and lows and feel maybe at the effect of the world. You'll feel more at cause in your life, I think, in that framework.
Yeah. So I guess the too long didn't read version is adventure, high intensity, flow, right? Being in the moment and being part of sort of the flow of the universe, performance, right? As particularly as an ISFP, but I would say ISTPs, this applies too.
Expression too.
But expression as an ISFP, emotional expression through flow, which, like you mentioned, Joel, is oftentimes performance. That can all be very scary to do, to perform out emotional expression, to be in a performance place where you're in flow with the universe, but you're just expressing. That can be scary until you start doing it. My suspicion is you start getting a taste of all these things, you will not want to go back. It will just be intoxicating. So I think you have a lot of fun stuff coming up for you through your 30s. And if you're anything like Joel and I, it might take the decade to really dial it in, but it's a great thing, and I would never go back.
Thanks, Hannah, so much for the question. You can ask your own question about personality types or personal growth. Visit personalityhacker.com/questions. We also have programs designed to help you with your personal growth through the lens of personality types. Again, visit personalityhacker.com and find the program that's made just for you. My name is Joel Mark Witt.
And I'm Antonia Dodge.
Thank you for listening to 10-Minute Type Advice by Personality Hacker. We'll talk with you on the next episode. If you're focused on personal growth, I think you'll resonate with our core content over at personalityhacker.com. We want to see you understand how your mind is wired so you can generate motivation, improve social skills, find career opportunities, and master excellent decision making. But a quick warning, we are advice and action focused in all of our articles, podcasts, and videos. This means that we attract people who like to be challenged to become excellent, to take action, to put in the work to optimize themselves, not simply just gather more information. If you are committed to personal growth and ready to radically find your inner truth, then come over and be a part of our growing community of like minds at Personality Hacker.